That was this weak clap.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's me, the Lou D-O double G.
And me, Real Slim Katie 25. Louie, you're listening to the Geek Gourmet podcast, and right now, let's start talking about this crazy fucking thing I heard online this week, okay? I read this on Instagram at first, and I didn't know if it was real, but I heard a rumor that Bryan Cranston could potentially be joining the MCU. Take a guess as to who.
Is he bald and rhymes with Corret-Esser-Ez?
Wait, pause. Do you think Corret-Esser-Ez rhymes with Professor Xavier?
Professor X, but sure, yeah.
I guess you could say like regressor sex. I don't
No, that
like...
works. That works. No, that really works, actually. Yeah, good job. Good job. Regressor X, yep. Regressor sex. Go ahead. If we were monetized on YouTube, we would get demonetized immediately.
Because I said sex?
Well, it just in the first couple of minutes of every video. It doesn't matter. We're not monetized, so you can do whatever you want.
Not yet. But if you want us to get monetized, leave us a like, rate, follow. Anyways, so I could not find exactly where this came from. Apparently, it was a, quote, reputable Marvel news source on Twitter. Now, I could not find any actual places to substantiate this claim, but it was the story was picked up by a couple semi-reputable news sources, but it was also picked up by Microsoft News. So take that as you will. However, I think it could be very exciting. And here's why. We talked about this a little bit already about after Wolverine and Deadpool, how pretty much everything in that universe is scrapped. There's not really going to be any of the same actors returning because how could it be? It's a different universe. So it only makes sense that we'd have somebody new, somebody who's potentially alive in this timeline, by the way.
Right.
I think he'd be perfect for it. I think he fits this like amazing, because I've seen some what was it? I saw him in this stupid ass movie where he like goes for lottery tickets. I mean, obviously in Breaking Bad, he's fantastic. I just think he has this really interesting line of showing that he can be caring, but also
and he'd be the third person from the American Godzilla movie with to be an Avenger or be in the Marvel universe.
What?
It would be Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, right? And then Elizabeth Olsen is Scarlet Witch. She was in it? Well, yeah, the 2014 Godzilla movie.
I didn't see it.
And then Bryan Cranston was Aaron Taylor Johnson's dad in the Godzilla movie. So that's 3, man.
Damn.
That's 3. Everything comes back to Godzilla. Yeah. And crazy enough, Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen in the 2014 Godzilla were also husband and wife. So they went from, in that movie, being husband and wife to Age of Ultron 2015 being brother and sister.
So interesting.
Very interesting. Exactly.
But I don't know. Honestly, I think that that's a rumor that could only make people happy. Even if it's not true, like, it still makes me happy. I'm not sure what we're doing, though, because and we don't know for sure, but if X-Men 97 takes place in the same thing, obviously, it's not going to happen. But I don't think they could be the same timeline anyways.
No, I would assume that
of discrepancies there.
Yeah, I would assume that X-Men 97 it's completely its own thing.
Thing.
Yeah, I would not assume it's in. Is it Earth 616? Is that our current Earth? Anyway, regardless.
I mean, no, it's not. It wouldn't take place on that. You're right.
Yeah.
So I think that's exciting. So who knows?
Yeah,
we'll see. I thought that was a fun rumor.
I'm a little more interested in seeing how they put Professor X into the fray and mutants in general, right? That's kind of where where my interests lie. My feelings on it are like, I think it's cool to get big names to do things. I don't know, kind of miss a time where a random ass person got cast as somebody, and then you're like, right? Who? And then all of a sudden they're like these big stars, right? Like Chris Hemsworth is an example.
That was so cute. I did love that.
well, to be quite frank, his family has been in the acting business for a long time, but
Mm.
Still like not a lesser known actor at that point. And the list goes on. I mean, you take a look at like Henry Cavill. When before he was Superman, he was like a B-list, maybe C-list actor. Same thing with David
Right.
Cornsway. I'm kind of missing the times when we were getting lesser known actors for things, but
Well, I mean,
I
here's
get it though.
my theory.
Disney has the money, so.
I mean, my theory on that is that, like, think of what has changed majorly, right, in the last, let's say, 10 years or whatever.
Sure.
Is that movies just don't make money anymore, not the way that they used to, right? We're seeing some really interesting stuff this summer. I'm thinking Beetlejuice is going to do really well. That's my prediction of the week. I actually think that'll pull in a lot. It's got the nostalgia factor. It's got the like spooky season factor.
Well, let's save Beetlejuice for when it comes up.
Of course. I'll for sure talk about it. But what I mean to say is, I mean, this summer, I was reading an article earlier about how like we barely avoided like an actual box office crisis in terms of revenue was down like 10%, but only 10%, which was better than expected. Because, I mean, movies are just not having the same return on investment. So I guess I understand why these franchises are leaning into this has to be an established actor because they just need to have everything going for them to get people in seats.
Yeah, no, I get that. And, I think James Gunn was the master at casting, other than like Zoe Saldana, lesser known actors. Chris Pratt quite literally made him a star. So, I get what you're saying, but also the other side of that is the internet does wonderful things where like
that's true.
Where Barbenheimer was a thing, and like everybody was getting butts in seats to go see both Oppenheimer and Barbie on the same day. So that
shit was crazy. We need more of that. Saw Patrol
and I
did
think
not
that's
take
wonderful.
off the way I thought it would.
And I also think that like Deadpool Wolverine. So I mean, I think the trend is heading back in that direction, but
I hope so. I hope we keep
I understand what you mean. But
I'm happy about it. I'm just reporting it.
But because this is a geek news podcast, our good friend, speaking of James Gunn and Chris Pratt, wants to talk. I can't talk.
Okay, I got you. Also, great segue, Louis. Couldn't have planned it better if I tried.
He wants to talk. I'm not tired. You're tired.
I'm not tired. You're tired. So apparently James Gunn and Chris Pratt are like have been in conversation. Now, this was reported on Geek Tyrant and I think a couple of other places, like syndicated essentially the same pull quotes, but essentially have been talking about finding a role for Chris Pratt in the DCU. Obviously, like Louis just said, James Gunn made Chris Pratt, essentially. Chris Pratt made Guardians.
And don't get it twisted. Freaking Chris Pratt is great in Parks and Rec. He's very funny. Action star, I would have never guessed it. That's all I'm saying.
He definitely paid his dues as an actor before, like, making it. It's not like he didn't deserve what came to him, right? He worked hard. But they both, I mean, the two of them took a comic book franchise that, no offense, and I really mean this, that little to nobody in mainstream media cared about, right? Nobody gave a shit about Guardians until they came along. So it's natural that now James Gunn is heading over to the DCU that he would want to find a place for Chris Pratt in there. We've got a couple people crossing those lines, having roles in the DCU and the MCU. But Louis, they didn't drop any names in this. What in the world do you think he could be in the DCU? You know this cinematic universe way better than I do, to preface.
Sorry, my mic was muted, and I didn't even realize it. So I was actually looking up before because I knew this question was going to come back to me because I'm the DC boy, but I have a character in mind who I would assume Chris Pratt could be, but that's the great thing about James Gunn is that James Gunn, I feel like, sees things in a way that we don't a lot of the time. And so if I say something, he's going to be like, actually, he's this character. And you're like, whoa, that's a pretty good casting. Anyways, I don't know how familiar you are with this character, but the character of Booster Gold He's been around. He's been in the JLA. Most notably, not most notably, I would say one of the most famous comic books he's in, other than Crisis on Infinite Earths, is probably Death of Superman. Anyway,
which is one of your faves.
Which is like second on the list, probably. If not first. Yeah. So I would assume someone like Booster Gold is a pretty fair bet.
So for those of us who don't know, give a quick description of the characters, like vibes, energies.
Yeah, vibes, energy. So I'm actually gonna, so I don't talk on my ass here. Booster Gold. I'm gonna like read to you the official synopsis on DC.com.
Please. I want to mark it down for posterity that when this happens that you call in.
Right. So he is a scoundrel from the future intent on making a name for himself in the past. Booster Gold has nevertheless exhibited his share of heroism. When opportunity arises, you have to seize it. That's the idea. A driven Mike Carter, a college football star in the 25th century who earned his nickname Booster on the field. Even though people assured him a professional career of fame and fortune was in his future, he decided he wouldn't wait and wagered on his own games. Basically, as you kind of go through it, he tried to what do you call it, like boop 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 boop. I can't talk people? Today. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that.
He tried to bet on. He basically tried to bet on his own games, and that's how like the origin goes. And he gets in trouble and blah 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 blah.
Gotcha.
He's a future. He's from the future. He uses a lot of technology, things like that. And he was came into fruition in 1986, and has kind of been around ever since. He's kind of a funny kind of character.
I feel like that's not a bad bet. I mean, Chris Pratt, we know that he can play a charming scoundrel who, against odds, finds success.
But
so that doesn't
here's the thing. In the conversation of James Gunn, like we were saying, he has an eye that kind of, I feel like a lot of us don't really have. And so the thing about Booster Gold is that I feel like it's a safe choice. And I don't know if Chris Pratt and James Gunn are going to want to go with the safe choice.
Interesting.
I would be interested to see, hear me out. I'd be interested to see Chris Pratt as a villain.
Okay.
And
name names.
Let me, Eobard Thawne. Do you know who Eobard Thawne is?
That literally sounds like the fakest name I've ever heard in my life.
He is the Reverse Flash. I'd be interested in seeing Chris Pratt as a villain. And if he was a villain, that would be kind of my pitch point would be Eobard Thawne. He has the build that he needs to like be a superhero. He could be the opposing force against the Flash. I think that'd be very interesting. I think it'd be interesting to see him as a villain.
I'm gonna be so for real with you. Like, and I know this is gonna hurt you, but pretty much everything I know about Flash was from the newest Flash movie and from the Flash Vertical Velocity at Six Flags.
Okay, well, anyways,
I mean, you tried to explain to me about like exactly what his powers are. We talked about it a little bit when I visited too, about like exactly what he can do and manipulation with time, and that it's not just and stuff like that. But no,
are you talking about
dive on this?
Reverse Flash's powers or Flash's powers?
Flash's powers.
Okay. Yeah. I know it's a little stupid. I'm not gonna like go through it here right now.
Okay.
Completely, but all that you need to know is that he has connection to something called the Speed Force, which is where he draws his powers from.
Right.
And he can run super fast, which makes him do crazy things.
And he's hungry.
And he's always hungry. Moving on.
Oh, real quick, I just wanted to say something. Do you know that TikTok sound? Well, I don't know if you've gotten it. Yes, it's on Reels. Maybe in 5 months you'll hear it. But you know that sound where it's like, do you know you have 30 minutes? 30 minutes? You know that sound? There's this TikTok where it was like me when I realize I'm starting to get hangry and I'm trying to tell my friends but they're not listening.
Yes. So I did see you say that. Or I saw you sent it and I liked it, but I know that your phone's been kind of weird.
Yeah, my phone's been weird this week, but I want to make sure you saw it because Louis, he's so silly. He, like the Flash, without food will die.
Okay, so before I forget, I am going to really quick talk about something that came out today in the DC train that I forgot to mention. But when we were talking about what characters,
Chris Pratt.
What's his name? Chris Pratt could be one of the first characters that came to mind, than Booster Gold. This is this is the second to Booster Gold in like the hero category. Was Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. Reportedly, and this was by Nexus. Yeah, Nexus Point News. Reported by Nexus Point News. Was Josh Brolin was offered the role of Green Lantern today. Of Hal Jordan Green Lantern.
What?
In the DC.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I bet Ryan Reynolds feels like shit.
If you don't know Green Lantern at all,
I do.
There's the main two are Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. And in this rendition of the movie, Lanterns, Hal Jordan is supposed to be nice and old and seasoned veteran, which is why they are offering it to Josh Brolin, which is the funniest fucking thing in the world because he was Cable. So
I know. He goes switching sides. And he just goes
yeah, exactly. Anyway, interesting piece of news. What do you think about that?
Wow. I think it's interesting. Honestly, I think Josh Brolin at this point can honestly do anything he wants in terms of if we're talking about actors that reign the superhero genre, not just saying like obviously Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., and especially with his upcoming role going back to Avengers, but Josh Brolin has played for both teams, right? And there's
also Dune. Dude is in Dune. He's Gurney Halleck in Dune, which means nothing to you.
No, it doesn't.
But sci-fi as well. Like he's been doing it all, man.
Yeah, in terms of like comic book, like sci-fi, like he kind of like he's one of the kings of this genre.
He rules it.
No, he really does. He really does. So I think he at this point he's earned any role he gets in his career. Say what you will, Thanos is one of the like greatest performances in terms of making
and Thanos will go down as one of the greatest villains of all time in media.
He has to.
Yeah,
right.
He's gonna be up there with Voldemort, Darth Vader. Like it's gonna be one of those things that when our kids have kids and they're like, "Hey, Grandpa, do you remember this?" I was like, "Oh, I was there the day it happened in the cinemas."
I remember sobbing every single time I watched Endgame.
It'll be interesting though because Hal Jordan is a bit of a funnier character, so I think it'd be really interesting to see Josh Brolin be funny and not like serious in all of his other roles.
I'd be delighted.
See, another reason why I'm like James Gunn just be seeing things that we don't, you know?
Yeah. Well, real quick, we've been talking a lot about movies and TV shows, but I want to talk a little bit into one of our other big loves, video games. Today, which when this comes out will be like 5 days ago, came out video game The Casting of Frank Stone, which is a spin-off of Dead by Daylight by the same studio. It takes place in the same world, and it's a single-player horror mystery RPG. And the most interesting thing about this is I've seen like pretty good reviews like so far. Everything's over 60%. People are really enjoying it. At this point, I don't have a lot of normal player reviews, just people who are paid to review this. But what's really interesting is apparently how much the viewer's choice can affect it. And apparently there's so many different like pathways, and that you can look in this like feature called like the killing floor or the cutting floor. I can't remember which one it is, but you can see how your choices affected which path it is, and that you can essentially, it's like if you ever watched Black Mirror, the Bandersnatch episode, like genuinely like a choose your own adventure, and it reveals to you which paths you already taken, so you can replay it.
Interesting. I feel like that's a game for you.
I know. I saw that and I was like, fuck, I have to buy this.
Right.
But in terms of other video games, there's definitely other stuff that's come out this week, right?
I mean, so we haven't really talked much about it because we haven't played it yet, and also they opted out of coming out on Game Pass, so that's kind of put a nail in my plans there. But Star Wars Outlaws officially did come out. And so I want to take a moment here and talk about how possibly wrong I was about how terrible it was. Looking at the reviews, and just for everybody's knowledge, we're using Media Critic for this. On Xbox, people are giving it a 75 out of 100. 76 on PS5. And then a 77 over on PC. So there have been... Yeah, so I mean, critic reviews, those are critic reviews, and then if we're looking over on user reviews, however, it's about half all the way around. It's about 5 out of 10 all the way around. So
are people liking it?
It seems like a lot of people are liking it, and a lot of people aren't liking it. And so here's what I'm going to say about this. I haven't played it yet. So take what I say with a grain of salt. Our conversation that we had recently about people watching or reading or whatever Star Wars, playing new Star Wars games, immediately want to hate it.
You're right. We just talked about this.
I have a feeling around 15 to 20% of those negative reviews are people being like, fuck the new Star Wars. Fuck Ubisoft, or because people also hate on Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I haven't played it. I also have no desire to play it until today at work. One of my coworkers was like, "Oh, I got it, and I played 24 hours of it this weekend."
What?
And I was like, "Oh, was it really that good?" And they're like, "Yes, I can feel it. Kind of starts to get repetitive, but I'm honestly having a ton of fun." And I was like, that's interesting. That's great. I don't know that I'm going to pay $70 for it right this second.
70?
Yeah, it's $69.99. But I think that once it comes on Game Pass, or if it gets discounted, because a lot of Ubisoft games do get discounted pretty quickly, I'm interested. I'm very, very interested. Sorry, I thought my cat walked in. I'm very, very interested in playing this game. I mean, it's...
Well, I'd be curious, because I know Star Wars Squadrons did really well. Andrew, my partner, really loves Star Wars Squadrons and played it really religiously. But now, I mean, it's been a couple years since it came out, and like you have to ask, like you have to pool people on Reddit in order to get enough people to form a squadron and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah.
Yeah, to me it sounds like a bit of like GTA plus No Man's Sky. Like there's an outer space. You can see your ship take off. You get into space. What I was told was that the space stuff is very minimal. Like you can fight pirates and other ships and stuff, but it's very, very minimal. It's not as big as No Man's Sky if you've ever played that game. One of my favorite outer space games, kind of like Starfield, except better. But only better because they had more time with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here's a new segment that I want to pull out of my ass.
Oh my god, I love segments from your ass.
Reading ratings. You see what I did there? Instead of reading Rainbow.
I like it.
Reading ratings. There we go. The more you know.
You ate with that.
Oh, I know. This is a segment where I'm gonna pull off of Media Critic, because I want to hate on Star Wars. The negative reviews that people have put on there in regards to this game. I cue the music, future me who's editing this, who I'm realizing I'm giving myself more work here.
Now you actually have to edit it, otherwise you're gonna seem lazy.
So if we're I know, right? 4 point. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me go all the way to the bottom here. This is on This is on the PC user rating. Oh, actually, Jesus, I'm not gonna go all the way down there. Okay, right here, a 3. So just saying,
3 out of 10 or 5?
10. I'm gonna have to assume 10.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know. I think been on this website.
I'm gonna
this is your segment.
add my rating. Sorry. Oh fuck. Hold on. Sorry. Things have just gone around now. Things are not good. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Out of 10.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. This is.
Can you do a voice too?
I'm gonna start at Xbox Series X. 3. Okay. This is a 3. It's Ubisoft in space. In all seriousness and fairness, if you like Ubi and other bland open worlds to have about as much depth as a kiddie pool, you'll enjoy this game. If you wanted an open world with fun and unique characters that is bursting with new things to explore, then keep on looking. This game has one ship, one gun that you can upgrade, and no character customization, because Star Wars is a universe full of different worlds and aliens, but you can only play as Miss, Plain, Jane, generic, quippy, human, and her pet, dog, alien, robot, take your pick. Ubi pitches this game as something new and exciting that was supposed to be a love letter to Star Wars fans. Instead, we got an unwanted baby from Uncharted and Jedi Survivor's One Night Stand. And the only thing we got out of it was a speeder bike. Overall, was a serious letdown for me. And as a Star Wars fan, just added to the pile of Star Wars projects from recent years that have turned out to be massive wastes of potential. And this is by somebody called Get Wrecked. 3 out of 10.
I think they fucking wrecked them.
Yeah.
Those are some biting words.
Yeah. Okay, now, let's go to... We'll do 3 from each. We'll do one bad, one medium, and one really good.
And can you do a voice for this next one?
Okay. This one is 7 out of 10. His name is Rygo.
Okay.
It goes, I am a Star Wars fan and always dreamed of an open world Star Wars game. Why am I whispering? Here it is. I feel like I'm doing like a sexy Mexican guy, but trying to do
like a sexy audiobook voice. I was like,
yeah, I know, right? I have been playing this game for some time, and it's quite fun for me. A lot to do, an interesting story. I understand the negative reviews, some bugs and forced stealth, but that doesn't ruin the game. I think the game would really come to life if they add more interactions in cities. For example, stormtroopers that actually respond to you, push you away, buy anything at a bar. People look at you when you approach them. Last example. Jesus, my phone's going crazy. Sorry. Shut up.
You said last example, Jesus, and I was like, what? I was like, my phone is not in this universe.
I know.
That's a galaxy far, far away.
Last example, I saved the camp or whatever from invaders. I got nothing, no reward, not even someone from the camp saying thank you or get lost. Nothing. So basically, this person is like, oh, I just want more reactions.
That's life, my friend. Sometimes you do things and they're thankless.
All right. Let's read number 10, Landonwitz. Star Wars Outlaws is a fun scoundrel romp through the Star Wars universe.
What's the rating?
10 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
I'm not even the biggest Star Wars fan, but I am truly enjoying playing this game. The world is at its gut, and there's the vibe. Missions are interesting and challenging. Combat is solid. Anyways, this is a really
like Zingos from Webkins.
That was the point. I know that you liked it.
I did. I loved it.
Okay. Anyways, we'll go to the next one. PlayStation 5 review. Oh god.
Wait, just skip to PC.
Oh, this is like in French. What the fuck?
Wow, you don't know French?
No. Yeah, we'll skip to PC. Man, I should just did one from each. Uh-oh. Let me see. Okay. I'm gonna do negative reviews, the most recent negative review on PC. Okay. This is from Waffle Traeger.
Oh my gosh.
So just playing in around 10 hours playtime. I had 20 game crashes. Also, the price is way too high for a game like that. After you have all 4 planets, you can visit 3 of them with a decent open world. But the most positive game about the game. They literally worded it like this: you will have one blaster and one blaster only. After about 10 hours, you can be done with the main campaign. They didn't spell campaign. They campaign. You have only so much customization. And it has a story where you know what will happen after 1 hour. The chars / NPC aren't as good as you think they would be, but decent enough, I guess. The gameplay itself doesn't feel good, and I would say, after all, not worth it. I mean, what did I expect from a AAA game which costs this much? Just more than 4 different planets. After all the advertising about these different planets, I would rather play the old Battlefront than this. Even the new Battlefront 2 has a better story than this. ... So after all, if there is no more mayor, not they try to spell major but spelled mayor, like as in the mayor of Austin. Changes for the amount of content you get and to the gameplay, this will never be more than a game I will not play again or recommend to anyone. You can just better spend your money than buying this garbage. Well, there you go.
Damn. That's crazy.
Okay. So this person, all right, this is the last one I'm going to say.
And say the number too.
0 out of 10 by Mooball. Don't take my word for it. Watch 3 minutes of Star Wars Outlaws being a quadruple A game on Nick Tech's YouTube channel. 0 out of 10. Anyways, all that to say, Star Wars Outlaws is evidently okay.
Well, we'll see. I'd be curious. I do feel like $70. I know, like, I'm a cheapskate in terms of paying for things and paying for art. And I'm sure the creators deserve the money to come back to them and stuff like that. But it's also like I expect $80 from a game like Red Dead 2. I expect more than that for a game like that, where there's over 400 hours of gameplay. But this doesn't seem like a game where there's enough story to sustain you for that long in terms of gameplay. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and quite frankly, a lot of games are way too expensive. I feel like, I don't know, I paid $70 for Spider-Man and stuff like that. So there are games
you
where
love
I'm
Spider-Man.
Like, yeah. And also they have a very good reputation. And so in my opinion, having a game like Star Wars Outlaws where there's not really a reputation there to be $70. I mean, really it is close to 80. It's like 75. Is kind of a long shot. And I definitely think that it's a harder sell overall. It's a harder sell. With something like Spider-Man 2, I'm there. Right. But that's because, once again, Insomniac and Spider-Man have that rapport, right? They have that the good standings in the gaming community.
They haven't earned it. You just haven't earned it yet, baby.
Exactly. Well, good bragging on Star Wars today.
Yeah. Well, other interesting stuff. Okay, to get into anime a little bit. Heard of Hunter x Hunter?
Have I heard of Hunter x Hunter? Of course I have.
Sorry, it sounded like confusing and a little insulting. Okay, but the creator, Yoshihiro Togashi, has. This is the saddest article I read all week.
Yeah.
Literally been in back pain, needing medical attention because he's been working so hard on his illustrations.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know this, but his wife wrote Sailor Moon.
What? What the fuck are you talking about? That's the biggest power couple I've ever heard. I had no idea.
Yeah, and you know Togashi has other mangas, right? Like really big mangas. Like Hunter x Hunter is like his second biggest one.
What's the biggest one?
He wrote Inuyasha, right? Hold on.
You're asking the wrong bitch.
I think he did. Sorry. It was written by... Yep. Wait. Togashi. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna have to cut this out.
That's okay. We can cut it out. I'll just segue.
Let me just fact check this.
You're good. You fact check it, buddy. You fact check it.
Oh, sorry. Okay, we'll backtrack on there. It's Yu Yu Hakusho. So his wife wrote Sailor Moon, and he wrote Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho. So Yu Yu Hakusho is obviously a pretty big anime. I'm sure you've heard of it. But yeah, so he has.
I've heard of Level E, but I haven't heard of that.
Yeah. So he has quite a few credits under his belt. I will say.
I just literally thought it was so sad. And I'm like talking about people like, bleeding for their art. He's literally trying so hard. He hurt himself to make you guys like. That's so sad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like maybe so sad and happy at the same time.
Well, I don't know if you know, like those of us who have read/watched Hunter x Hunter, but like he only comes out with so many chapters a year.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, he'll take like breaks, like really, really, really long breaks. And I read somewhere that his wife helps him draw sometimes. And like his health is bad, like it's super, super bad. And I don't know how much you know about the shonen manga, how like the mangakas are like treated and stuff, but I mean they're worked to the bone, dude. Like they are worked to the bone.
Well, you're talking about some of these people who are like releasing every week, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. I mean every week, unless somebody's sick or whatever, they're usually releasing every week. And like look at Ichiro Oda, not to bring it back to One Piece all the time, but he's been doing it since 1999, and dude, One Piece might not be ending till 2032.
Jesus fuck.
I might have kids by then, dude. I might be married by then. Wild.
You'll definitely be married by then.
Yeah, but like, you know what I mean? Like I
might be married by then.
I was born as One Piece was beginning. And I would have maybe children of my own by that time. That's wild. In 30, that's insane. Anyway, not important.
Damn.
But yes, it's very sad.
I mean, it is important. It's very important.
I like Togashi, and I like Hunter x Hunter. Have you ever watched it?
No, I haven't.
I think you would enjoy Hunter x Hunter.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think you'd find Gon and Killua really, really cute. Therefore, you would keep watching.
Heard.
Yeah.
Heard.
Yeah. Good show. A lot of people's favorites, actually.
I still need to finish Demon Slayer. And Jujutsu
Kaisen. Not a lot of people's favorites, but yeah.
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 Well, yeehaw. Other news, other really interesting stuff from this week. What was I going to talk about? So, did you watch Ted Lasso?
No, which is funny because I'm really into soccer.
What the fuck? You haven't seen Ted Lasso?
No, I only watch good TV.
I don't know why you'd say that, Louis. I think you'd love this show.
I'm just.
I actually think it's completely up your alley.
I actually think so too, and Gloria and I have talked about it. We have a hard time being like, let's watch something new, and then we're like, actually, let's watch Psych.
I honestly, for real, I think it'd be a great show for both of you because I think there's really great writing, really great characters, and I think you'd just love the like football management aspect of it too.
Yeah,
like. I think you and Gloria would both adore this show. Like, honestly, I'm not even a mega fan of this show. I think it's a really good show, but like, I honestly think you guys would love it. 10 out of 10. Anyways, So they wrapped up this last season, in my opinion, on a really nice, succinct note where I felt like I had closure for pretty much all the characters. And now it's announced that there's going to be a new season. After all of that. Which feels, in my opinion, like a cash grab. I'm sorry. It felt like the writers knew where they wanted to end the story. They wanted it to be a 3-season arc. It feels like it was written as a 3-season arc the whole time. Very beginning, middle, end. And like, why would you spend time wrapping up all these
So
characters?
This is a season 4?
Yeah, there's going to be a new season. So
literally sorry, because you wrote it.
I know,
in the
notes, I mistyped it.
It's okay. It's okay.
But
so when you said 3-season arc, I was like, what?
It's a 3-season arc, and then now, after all of that, they painstakingly wrapped up. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's the last episode!" And then, like a year and a half later, they're like, "We're gonna do more."
Oh, it's been over for that long. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and without Jason Sudeikis, who's the main character. So I don't know.
So it's not Ted Lasso?
I know. I think you could do the show without him and just having the other characters, because it's a really strong ensemble. But after all of that build up to the end, to wrapping up these stories, and honestly, I just don't respect it. I love what the writers have done with the show thus far. If they feel like there's more story to tell, truly artistically, then I respect it and I'll watch it. But I don't see how this could be more of a, we don't want this to be over. This was making so much money. It's Apple TV's bestseller, and Apple TV hasn't done too much since. I mean, they've done Slow Horses, which has done super well. Sunny, I'm watching right now.
Did Monarch. Godzilla.
The Morning
More
Show.
Godzilla shit.
But anyways, I'm not saying Apple TV is doing bad, but I'm saying it's their biggest property. I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, they also haven't done that much, right? Like in comparison, like Netflix, Stranger Things, One Piece.
Well, Apple TV is a baby in comparison to, like, in terms of producing their own work. So young in comparison to Netflix, who's been producing their own work for what, 8 years now?
I mean, it's definitely been more than that.
Well, they went digital in like 2014.
Maybe. No, because I was watching Netflix on my Wii when I was like 13, 12.
Yes, on your... Well, let me see. Okay. When
there you go. More fact checking. Here we go.
Go digital. Holy shit. Are we idiots? 2007 it went digital.
Well, that kind of makes sense because, that kind of makes sense.
When did Netflix...
It was probably both. It was probably both digital and by mail.
Yeah, because I remember watching it on my Wii, too. Okay, sorry. So it started its original content in 2013.
There you go.
So, about 10 years. Apple TV has been the past, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Well,
let me actually fact check that. Apple TV started producing in 2016? God damn. Then maybe they just haven't been doing well. So I don't really tell you at this point. I take back my original statement. I didn't realize they'd been on their own for that long. Anyways, that's kind of irrelevant. I want to go ahead and skip to, since we're nearing the end of our episode, this week on screens. Louie, this is a great segment where we discuss what's happening this week on our screens. So, Louie, tell our nice audience what you're watching and what you recommend. What you're watching, playing, reading, etc.
What I'm watching, playing, reading. Let's start with watching. I'm just catching up on the One Piece anime.
Nice. Real.
Always. I recently also watched The Road to El Dorado again. That movie's hilarious. That time of animation was great. And reading, I'm going through the Avatar Yang Chen book right now. There's 2 of them. So, yeah. Oh, and also, still reading Jujutsu and One Piece. Jujutsu's ending in 3 weeks, so
sorry.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, well, that's it for me. Oh, and I guess recommendation. Always gonna say watch One Piece. That's it.
I know you are. This weekend, I actually had 1 whole day off, and by off, I meant
whole day
working while pet sitting, but I could relax and do what I wanted to do. So I binge watched almost all of Sunny on Apple TV. By the time this episode comes out, the last episode will be out. But I swear to God, Louie, I was so fucking upset. All I wanted to do was, I was like, man, I'm so glad that, literally, this is literal inner dialogue as I'm watching the 9th episode. I'm like, man, I'm so glad that streaming is real and I can binge watch content now, because I can't even imagine how frustrated I'd be if I didn't get to watch the last episode right now. And then I fucking realized they're doing a week-by-week release schedule. Literally, the timing was hilarious. I was like, you're joking me. So that comes out tomorrow. I'll be super excited. Might make a video about it. Who knows? Been watching that. It's kind of a Black Mirror-esque A24 produced miniseries with Rashida Jones, who is amazing in it. And I forget his name, but the same amazing actor who starred in Drive My Car, the Oscar nominated best film. Anyways, so I enjoyed that. I am reading The Troop by Nick Cutter. I don't know how I feel about it yet, so I'm not sure if I recommend it yet. But it's about a Boy Scout troop who is met by this strange man where they're camping on this island, and there's some kind of famine befallen upon him. And anyways, it's kind of convoluted. But yeah, I've been listening to Short and Sweet, the new Sabrina album. So that's been good. Yeah, I'm pretty basic.
Well, good talking.
No, my big thing, I have one movie I rewatched this weekend, School of Rock. It's a classic comedy. It's a perfect movie, I'll say it. I just watched it. I forgot how good it was. And if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's so agreeable. Yeah. I'd be shocked to find somebody who doesn't like it.
It's a great movie. So drop
in the comments down below what you're watching this week, what you're reading, listening to. We love suggestions, and Louie and I will actually look up what you're talking about. We want to talk about it. We want to know what you're doing. So let us know. If you like what we're doing, the best way to support us is by sharing our content on your social medias. You can find all of us in our link in this YouTube video down below, or if you're listening on a podcatcher, you can find us on YouTube, and we have an awesome link tree with all of our socials. But just sharing our content, the more people that we can reach, the closer we are to getting monetized and being able to make more content for you guys. So if you like what you're listening to, please give us a like, a follow, a sub, a comment. We love hearing what you guys have to say. It honestly makes my day every time someone comments on one of our videos. So please do let us know. Louie, where can people find you on socials?
At the Lou D-O-double-G, baby. 956.
Awesome. You can find me at RealSimKD25 on TikTok, Letterboxd, and Instagram. And guys, I think that pretty much wraps us up for this week. As always, please drop a comment if you have a better slogan for us. But as for now, hope that your geeks are
gourmet.